smell of burned electronics. All right. Hey, what's up, everybody? First of all, before I go any further in this review, I got to tell you that Fosi sent me the not the Z3. I ordered the ZA3. They sent me these V3 mono amplifiers to review. Personally, I think that probably came because they saw my previous review of the ZA3 where I was like, about some things. And I thought it was neat that they reached out and basically said, hey, we appreciate your feedback and we'd like to send you our latest amplifier to review. Now, I'm not stupid. This is also part of the machine that gets them attention. I'm not getting paid for this stuff. I understand that I am part of somebody's marketing machine, but at the same time, these are things that you people care about, and I want to review it my own way to give you my honest assessment as best I possibly can, because there's a lot of other people that are reviewing these as well, and it's good when you're shopping to get multiple opinions. So I'm hopeful that I can maybe round out the rest of those reviews without being too redundant. I'll try to do my best without saying the same things that they've already told you all. But yes, they sent me these out, and I had already emailed them asking what they wanted to do because I'm moving like this weekend and I need to send this stuff back. They said just to keep it. So I'm throwing up the promotion tag in this video because whenever you're giving something for free, then you have to say it's part of a promotion. Even though I'm not going to keep them, I'm actually going to, well, this one's going in the garbage because I fried it, but this one I'm going to give away to somebody. Okay, so these V3 monos are the latest incarnation from Fosi. Right now, as of this video's making today, they are not available for purchase, but they're in that Kickstarter program. And so what I did was I reached out to them and I said, look, guys, I don't want to be part of an R&D process. Is this the real thing? Or is this, like you're going to have some new findings and you're going to scrap the whole idea and all of this work is gone for nothing? And they said, no, you've got the production issued versions. And that's what we're going to sell people when we get the funding. The one amplifier is rated for about 240 watts at 4 ohm, but I don't recall what that THD spec. And when I say the one, I'm saying that specifically because it's a mono amp. And they've really been pushing, and I say other reviewers have been pushing running 2 of these. And Fosi actually sent me 2. So that's why the other reviewers are pushing using 2 of them in stereo mode. And that's kind of where I'm going at with this guy as well. When I was testing both of them, you're going to see that I came up with some interesting results. The most interesting of all was that I freaking fried one of them. And look, it's not probably everyday usage that's going to create a problem. It's because I was running test tones through these for hours. They were hot enough, seriously, where I would equate it to if you had just poured a hot cup of coffee and you're holding on to the mug by the side, that heat transfer goes and you're thinking, dang, this is hot, I got to put this down. They legitimately got that hot. I know that most people want to know either how does it sound or how does it measure. So I'm going to talk about both, but let's do the how does it sound because that's easy. It sounds like an amplifier, y'all. Now, the truth of the matter is that I could say, and I could make this crap up, right? I could come in here and I could say, it sounds this way or that way or this way. But realistically, when you listen to an amplifier cited, there's all sorts of stuff that's going on in your brain, the things that you want to hear. The only way to really know if you're actually hearing something is to do an ABX test. So I did that. I did an ABX test compared to the ZA3. I paired up 2 of these monos against the stereo ZA3. Now the ZA3, the reason I chose this is because 1, it's a Fosi amp. 2, it's already stereo. But 3, it is load dependent, which means that when you have different speaker loads, it will change the response of the amplifier. And that could be audible depending on the severity. So for my listening test, what I did was I set up the 2 pair of monos and the ZA3 stereo amplifier. I paired them to my ABX comparator, which allowed me to take a round of tests. So I did, each round of testing is 8 tests where you have no idea what's playing. And then what you do is you listen, you take notes, and then you go to the next portion of it, right? So test 1 might be amplifier A, test 2 might be amplifier B, test 1 might be, or test 3 might be amplifier B again. But you have no idea until it's done. And then you can go back through and see, all right, which one was which. So I did that, and I did that 3 times for a total of 24 tests. The results were basically, I was guessing each time. I couldn't really tell a difference. Now, you can tell a difference sometimes. As recently as about a few weeks ago, I reviewed the Dayton HTA 200, which is a hybrid tube/solid state amplifier, preamplifier. And in my ABX testing with that, compared to, I think it was the NAD C3050, I was able to pick out 100% of the time correctly the amplifier that was playing. So if it was the NAD, I picked that out. If it was the Dayton, I picked that out. The reason why was very simple. There was about a 1.5 decibel lift from about 50 hertz or so, I believe, to about 500 hertz. So when I would switch between the amplifiers blind and having no idea, I would hear distinctly a difference in that mid-bass region every single time. But in this particular case, I didn't notice any kind of distinct sound differences. Maybe my ears aren't golden, that's fine, but maybe that kind of gives you an idea of where I'm coming from in this review. I was also listening to a pair of the MoFi Source Point 8s because they've kind of been my go-to reference for the past 6 months since I reviewed those. I will be replacing those at some point with the MoFi Source Point 888s. I've already put my order in for those. Hopefully I'll get them in the next month or two. So with that said, let's just look at some of the data. So let's talk about the data and talk about how this amplifier measures, and I'll do some comparison to the ZA3. First up, let's look at the frequency response of the V3 mono. Those of you who know, I test with 4 different loads, 2 static loads, a 4 ohm and an 8 ohm, and then I also test with 2 reactive loads, a simple and a complex. The 2 reactive loads are done to simulate a real loudspeaker. And the reason I use that instead of a real loudspeaker is because I don't want to damage my hearing or the speaker. So I use a complex set of components that allows me to simulate real speaker loads. Here are those results. 8 ohm in red, 4 ohm in blue, simple load in green, and complex load in orange. And you can see that they're all kind of similar. There is a bit of a variance. There's about a 0.5 decibel peak at about 20 kilohertz. Whether or not you're going to hear that, listen, I'm going to put that up to you. I'm going to say odds are you probably won't. But again, I didn't hear that difference between this and the ZA3. And speaking of the ZA3, let's look at that response as well real fast. Here you go. See how the ZA3 is much more all over the place? But even still, it's within about maybe a decibel or so at most. Looking at these results, you would think you're probably going to hear a difference, but I didn't. I mean, sometimes I guessed it correctly, but other times I was guessing the wrong one. And it really just came down to essentially a coin flip. You know, which one was I hearing? This one or that one? I don't know. This one. Wrong. You were hearing that one. When you order the V3, you're going to get a 5 amp power supply. That's going to look like this. If you get 2 of the V3s, you're going to get a 10 amp power supply. See? Big old power supply. The 10 amp power supply comes with 2 plugs. It's a splitter out of the power supply to power up both amplifiers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through results of the single amplifier and testing both amplifiers at the same time. This is the power versus THD of the single amplifier. At 8 ohm, you're reaching around maybe about 110 watts or so before you really start to increase in distortion. And at 1%, you're about maybe 140 watts. At 4 ohm in red, at 1%, you're about 240 or so, which is actually what they're rated for. And if you go down here before it starts ramping up, you're at about 200 watts. So you're in this region. And you can see what I got for the simple and complex load, kind of follow that with the more complex load. Now I'm going to show you the difference between the single amplifier with the 5 amp power supply and the 2 amplifiers with the 10 amp power supply. 8 ohm, light blue, and green down here. With both amplifiers, you do have higher THD overall, but the clipping point's pretty much the same. So again, you're looking at maybe about 140 watts at 1% THD. 4 ohm is in red for the single and purple for the double. You can see that there's a separation again in the overall THD, but they start to merge somewhere around here, around maybe like around 220 watts or so. You'll notice that the purple line just stops. Why does it stop? Because when I was powering both amplifiers and feeding them signal and trying to get the output wattage at 4 ohm, it would quickly go into protect and it would just mute the circuit output completely. So I can never get past this point at 4 ohm with the 64K FFT. After a series of me trying to get some numbers that would go up higher, even changing the signal length, I ultimately smoked this amp. It still smells like it. I mean, I could literally see smoke coming out of it. I was like, oh crap. And I grabbed it and ran it outside real fast. I do have a fire extinguisher for these kind of emergencies, but yeah, I ran it outside. So I was done testing both channels at that point, and this one will literally just be thrown away now. And that's where we are today, down to 1 amp. So one lucky person is going to get 1 amp. Unfortunately, I was planning on giving both of them away, but can't do that anymore. So my overall consensus, right? Like my overall summary of this whole entire review is, if you want more power than something like the ZA3 offers you, and you don't mind giving up more desk space, because that power brick for the 10 amp that powers 2 of these mono amps is huge. Mono amps are relatively small, but overall you're probably talking twice the space of a ZA3 for 2 of the V3s and the 10 amp power supply. But if you want that extra 3 decibels of power, then sure, go for it. You know, I would encourage you to check other people's reviews and see what you think about this yourself. Personally, I don't have a need for desktop amplifiers. I play around with them because they're kind of fun and interesting, but I use power speakers for my desktop speakers, and for my mains, I use big boy amplifiers that have a lot of capability for high current. I just like the extra, like 500 watts at 4 ohm. Yeah, please bring it my way. Back that truck up, dump it all off here. But if you don't have a need for something like that, or you just want a smaller amplifier, yeah, I think they're worthwhile. If you enjoy this review, thumbs up, all that kind of cool stuff. If you like what I'm doing here, you can support me at patreon.com/Erin's Audio Corner. I want to reiterate, I was given these by Fosi, and that's why you're going to see that promotion thing at the top of this. And I'm going to give the 1 amp away. I'm going to throw the burned one up away. I will talk to you later. Take care.